So the microphone I usually use for my videos isn't working anymore. So if you guys notice the audio quality being a bit different today, it's because I'm using my old microphone while I wait for a new one to come. Young Thug, a scholar, a visionary, a pioneer, the slimiest slime and the slattiest slat. Yes, Young Thug is a pretty interesting and unique rapper with a manic and unpredictable style of rapping that has resulted in some fast verses. And today, I thought we'd take a look at his 10 fastest ones. Now, as you guys may know, it's impossible for me to monetize these videos because of the length of the audio clips that I play to show how fast these verses are. These videos get claimed instantly, which is why I've decided to make the 10 fastest verses videos my only sponsored ones. No other videos, just these ones, because there's no other way for me to monetize these. So, with that in mind, I want to thank Skillshare for sponsoring today's video, helping me stay paid despite the best efforts of whichever record label is going to claim this one. If you aren't familiar with Skillshare, it's an online learning community containing thousands of classes on just about any creative skill you could imagine, such as producing and creating your own music, being more productive, or even making your own YouTube content. And you can access an unlimited number of these classes with their premium membership, a membership which costs less than $10 a month with their annual subscription. One of the most helpful classes for me recently has been Thomas Frank's Productivity Masterclass on creating a system that works for you, because Lord knows I need that. Just this one course has helped me immensely with focusing on getting things done efficiently and effectively, such as the video you're watching right now. If this sounds interesting to you, then I have good news. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link down in the description below will get a 2-month free trial of Skillshare's premium membership, giving you unlimited access to all of the courses on there. I would highly recommend joining, as it's helped me a lot and will continue to help me with any skills that I want to pursue and excel in the future. Much love to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Now, with that being said, let's jump into the topic of today's video. This is CDTVProductions, and let's take a look at Young Thug's 10 fastest verses so far.
Money got me shit like a Lexus, no comparing, no red or directs. All of my bitches are bougie and bad, my money was long as it's like. I told the bitch that wasn't my kid, I needed fraternity. Pull up your block, it take you cookie, call me Bernie.
Now, as these ones aren't supposed to be my most critical videos, I always try to highlight the aspects I like and appreciate about these songs. But this track is just okay. We're off to a flying start. The highlight, of course, is Thug's flow, but I feel like the beat stays way too simple throughout, and it takes away from what could have been a great song if it had some more layers in the instrumental. But like I said, Thug himself still raps nicely on here with short bursts of quickly rapped lines that is enough to give this verse an honourable mention.
All I be is red, my nigga, but I'm not stopping shit. Pull up to the set and I come and pay all my hummus. Hop in, I don't bleed and I pull up straight out the pharmacy. Pussy niggas scared to say it, I got them humming shit. Little bit, you know I'm really thugging like Bones and Harmony.
Thug absolutely snapped all over this song. His vocals are intense and frantic, his flow is unpredictable. There's a great build up throughout the song, with his delivery getting more fast and turbulent as the verse goes on. It's probably one of my favourite Thug verses out there, and I hadn't even heard it until I researched for this video, as I've not really ventured to much of Thug's music outside of his solo albums. So if anyone can recommend more non-album songs where Thug snaps like this in the comments below, I'd love to hear those suggestions.
To the top of the coupe and get off on their ass, and that's what it was. Ooh, I told the jump motherfuckers a penny, you know I was sipping on mud. Yeah, I'm in the back with the killers, I'm training my niggas to take all your mud. Yeah, I've been falling in love, so I can't talk about my dad. Yeah.
I will never forgive whoever decided to remove this verse from the original version of Ecstasy on streaming services and replace it with the Machine Gun Kelly verse. I don't even say that to hate on MGK or anything, because his verse was fine on the song. It's just the fact that they removed one of my favourite verses from the So Much Fun album when they could have just kept it in. But hey, at least it's still on SoundCloud and YouTube if you want to hear what is, in my opinion, one of the best and most energetic verses on So Much Fun. It's pretty much always great to me when Thug has a faster flow on his verses, And this is one of those ones.
When I pull up, I'ma let it loose, I'm not pursuing. I'm a motherfucking gangsta, nigga, know I haven't ranked. That's Kurt, no angle, I'm slapping with the bank. First I got the money, then the power, no range. Just because you don't see me, don't mean that I'm a stranger.
This one is a leaked Young Thug song from 2015 that also went under the name Beast, but was officially confirmed as not being called that by the mixing engineer for the song, Alex Tomei, on Twitter. And for what it's worth, it's a great song. 5 whole minutes of Thug rapping with some lengthy verses and legendary bars such as "I know the baddest bitches got the biggest foreheads" and this line. Wonderful imagery as always, Thugger. From researching for this video, I found out that Young Thug really dropped some of his hardest verses in 2014. I mentioned Loving Givenchy earlier, which also dropped in 2014, and now there's this song where Thug snaps on the verses yet again. I like what he's putting out now, and he's still a super entertaining rapper, but I can see why tracks like this from this era are held in such high regard by Thug's fanbase. And Young Thug wrote this song in 8 minutes. That, to me personally, is impressive when you've got some classic Thug lines here like "money stand like 8 feet just like 2 midgets" and him saying "I don't like using profanity" on a song which is literally called 2 bitches. Iconic. I'm private, I bank with America. These hoes trying to rush, I need barriers. I'm rocking gold like a leprechaun. Green diamonds, asparagus. None of my bitches Americans. I came with a clips, I'm a terrorist. I look at it like I can't marry this. Let me just remind you that this man said he doesn't like using profanity on the previous song on this list. Yeah, I'm not really convinced. So yeah, this was a feature verse from Thug on an OT Genesis song, and Thug was really the highlight here for me. Sure, the beginning of his verse is pretty repetitive and almost seems kind of formulaic, but during the second half he really starts to pick it up with his flow switches and more varied lyrics. And it's kind of hard for Thug to not be entertaining on a song. I could listen to this man rhythmically rapping nursery rhymes and it would still be a fun guest verse.
She Obama, she sting like Obama, be hot as the sauna. She shine like a real, got that from my mama. Can't see me, can't beat me, I'm blind like a plumber. That booty gon' roll and it's out of control, and these bitches gon' fuck off respecting that loyalty. My bitch loving me.
Ever since the very first moment I listened to this song, I've been trying to decipher exactly what Young Thug is saying or is trying to say on the intro to this song. Then I looked at the Genius annotation which explained it and made sense of it, and just like that my problem was solved in a few seconds. Overall, this was a great track with solid verses from every artist featured, and was one that stood out on Chance's Colouring Book mixtape due to the slightly darker trap style sound it had compared to the rest of the project, which was mostly more bright and uplifting. I think it works perfectly where it's placed on the project though. Chance is good on it, Thug glides on the beat as with all these songs, and Lil Yachty comes through with what was to me the highlight verse on the track. Everyone shone through though and provided something different to make a great overall track.
Rich nigga shit about my daddy, a new petty. Got a model, got a thinky, got a BM, got a stallion, got a $1 billion corporation for Kazani. I got millions to go get in a couple bitches to, yeah. You my dog till he dead, not a question, but I can't fuck.
This was one of my favourite songs from Young Thug's So Much Fun album. It even made it onto my list of the 10 best hit rap songs of 2019, which will be linked below if you want to check it out. The way that he just breezes right over this Wheezy produced instrumental during the hook in his verse here is so great to listen to. He weaves his words into the spaces between those 808 kicks so smoothly, and it makes for an incredibly catchy and mesmerizing verse. Lil Baby is enjoyable on here too, even if, as I've said before, there is something about his verse that sounds slightly off. I think it's the pitch of his voice just sounds oddly deep, but even then, it doesn't hurt the song much at all, and it's still enjoyable enough for Bad 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 to be one of my top songs on So Much Fun.
Your stack is my brother, I fuck her, I love her, but I cannot cover. I pull up on dollars, they take all my orders. The lean is my drink and the pussy, my supper. I like my bitch brown, like don't make go color her egg. Keep coming, man, know you, she
And here we have yet another example of early Young Thug going in and snapping on his verse. Now, granted, I'm not as big of a fan of his verse on here as his ones on Danny Glover or Makaveli, due to the fact that his voice is a bit higher pitched and more shrill on here, but his flow is still captivating and energetic. The minute he flips his flow with the Young Thugger, Young Stack is my brother line, I instantly get pumped up. He flies right through this verse, barely letting the intensity drop for even a second. A very entertaining verse and one of the faster ones he has out there.
I got 100,000 hoes tryna get a million. I got 100,000 coops and I don't keep the ceiling. I'm almost at the finish and these niggas still beginning. I got more money than Martin, so I pour out my Remy. I just got back from Jimmy Fallon, me and Tips.
And at our number 3 spot, we have Stunna, the only song on here from the very first Slime Season mixtape. While we're on the topic of Slime Season, I find it impressive that Young Thug dropped the first and second installment of that series within 2 months of each other, and they're a couple of his most critically acclaimed projects to date. In fact, even further than that, he dropped the entire trilogy of Slime Season mixtapes within around 6 months, which is crazy considering how enjoyable each one of them is. The first one was largely a compilation of previously leaked songs, and it really makes me think about how many other quality tracks like Stunna Thug has in his archives that we've never heard. The song is packed with numerous flow switches, has fantastic production from Isaac Flame, and those unpredictably manic vocals that you would expect from Thug. Yet another great song on this list.
My clothes ain't by Elizabeth Taylor, baby. Fuck on your little bitch and get the moving with the skaters, baby. Oh, I can go round that bitch like equators, baby. And I feel free like the motherfucking nature, baby. That little bitch fit the description like a blazer, baby. And she from LA just like a motherfucking like a baby.
And now we have a song from the second installment of Slime Season. There were quite a few songs that sounded like they had relatively fast verses on Thug's Slime Season 2 project. I counted the speeds for 7 of them for this video, and those 7 will be on the screen now if you're curious. But using my method of counting up the fastest part of the song over 10 seconds, Flaws is the only one that made it to this list from that project. And it clocks in at a nice speed of 7.8 syllables per second. Young Thug just sounds like he's gliding right over the instrumental on this verse, and my god, the instrumental on it is nice. You know, after combing through as many Thug songs as possible for this video, I kinda get what people mean when they say they miss 2014/2015 Thug now. Even if, as I said, I do like him currently, it's just that this really was a great era for Young Thug.
Show me attention when I'm in your city. I'm so used to fucking on all of your bitches. They wanna fuck us and they know that we pimp bitches. Evans and Dottie, I caught by the 50, yeah. I work the best streets in all of the cities. I pay for a thighs, lip, ass, and her titties, yeah. Got the well to get wet.
And at our number 1 spot, we have the verse that convinced me I should make this video. Thug slid right over the beat on this one. This is one of those type of songs that are seeming to become increasingly popular in hip-hop, and those are songs where pretty much every feature molds their verses around one particular flow. In this case, the run-on flow that Meek Mill uses during the chorus. You know, kind of like Turks or Bullets with Names, which I've noticed sounds kind of inspired by this song, as it does have a similar non-stop flow and a Young Thug feature. Just something I wanted to mention. In the case of Chariot, this replicated flow throughout is not a bad thing, as the focal point of each verse is this constant, non-stop flow that really makes the song feel like it never slows down. As you heard, Thug glides over the beat, resulting in the fastest verse that he has so far at 8 syllables per second at its fastest point. The way his words all kind of blend together sounds slick. He knows how to hit the right pocket of every beat in just the right way, and it's all done so well. I'd definitely say that this is one of my top Young Thug guest verses. And so, my slimes and my slats, there we have it. At 8 syllables per second, Young Thug's verse on Chariot is the fastest Young Thug verse so far. Well guys, that's going to be it for the video today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed this one, and if you did, I'd appreciate you leaving a like as always, and subscribing if you're new here and want to see content similar to this. Hopefully the difference in the microphone quality wasn't too big on this one. I do feel like my voice sounds a bit more flat with this microphone compared to the one I usually use. The one that broke. But yeah, I've ordered a new microphone, so I won't have to use this Blue Yeti for much longer. But regardless, I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. That's all I've got to say for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if there's any verses you think I missed down in the comments below, and I will see you guys all in the next one. This is CDTVProductions, signing out.